So this is definitely something different. I've never streamed a golf game. I mean, really, I tend to stick with action games. I'm not sure if golf games quite cut the bare minimum for what might be considered action. Although I have considered streaming Hot Shots Golf, and I probably will at some point because I love those games. This game gets a lot of praise, and I've always wanted to check it out, so this is a perfect opportunity for me to as well. Um, I have seen it listed as Big Tournament Golf in the re-releases for AES, and I don't know if they're changing the name because they're changing the content. I'll get to that in a second, or if it's called that in some other region. I've never heard that before. I've always known it by the name Neo Turf Masters. Now, my understanding is that the AES release is going to be different because it's going to include the extra course from the Neo Geo CD-ROM game, and again, that one might be called Big Tournament Golf. I have no idea. I've never played it. I'm playing the cartridge version instead because I think it's still probably going to be closer to what you get in terms of like sound and not having load time and stuff like that. So I always used to wonder if the Neo Geo could even do line scrolling effects like this because most fighting games that are not Neo Geo fighting games since Street Fighter 2 use that line scrolling effect on the ground for parallax, and almost nothing on the Neo Geo does. I said almost because actually I've found a few that do. But this game uses it extensively to create this sort of like 3D effect as you look around, and it's done quite well. It looks cool. Um, I do like golf games though. I'm not a big sports game guy, but golf I find relaxing and pleasant to play. And I basically have always been a big Hot Shots and everybody or whatever you want to call it, Minnow Golf, Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots Golf. It's the same series. Always been a big fan of it. Wasn't real happy with the latest entry, but they have made, at least they've done updates to improve it. I can say that much about it. Still, the 2017 game was better, and that's kind of sad. I haven't ever played the EA, like the PGA official games. They give them to us for free on PSN, and I've always been like pretty curious about them, but thinking that they would be too technical. But I watched. I have a subscriber, Yellowish Wolf Gaming. Thanks for this, by the way. I saw that you streamed the PGA 25, which is the latest one they gave us, and it looks pretty fun. It looks pretty playable and not that far off from playing something like Hot Shots. So I could probably get into it. I may check that out at some point. Less likely to stream that, I'd say, but it could happen. Anything could happen. I'm using an arcade stick to be as much like I can on the AES, and everything's in AES mode. That's how we're doing these streams. That'll be an issue with the next game. We'll talk about that in just a second. Uh, but yeah, and then I've got so like 4 buttons laid out in an arc on my 8-button controller, just like the 4R on an AES controller. No turbo fire or anything like that. Definitely not going to be relevant on this game. I've never played this game. I don't know the rules or how to play it, and I'm probably going to be terrible at it. Let's give it a shot. See how it goes.
Please select the type of your game. Who do you play as?
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Please select your challenging course.
Seriously, though. Does he not look like Hatfield? Let's start off in Germany, I guess.
National Golf Course. Final day. Par 4.
Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, second shot. Fairway. Player 1, third shot. On the green. Player 1, for par.
Par.
Player 1 starts to strike back. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 2, 419 yards. Par 4.
Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, second shot. Fairway. Player 1, third shot.
Get in.
On the green. Player 1, for par.
Par.
Player 1 keeps a higher rank. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 3, 137 yards. Par 3.
Player 1, tee shot. Triple bogey.
Triple bogey.
That was infuriating in every possible way. I guess I'm losing now.
Okay. Player 1 falls back a lower rank. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 4. 531.
Player 1 tee shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1 second shot.
So they just make you continue every three rounds, every 3 holes, no matter what. It seems a little ridiculous, but whatever.
Hole number 7, 565 yards, par 5.
The longest drive contest. Good luck. Player 1, tee shot. Fairway. Player 1, second shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, third shot. Fairway. Player 1, fourth shot. Fairway. Player 1, fifth shot.
Oh, that's incredible. Come on now. That's really funny.
Player 1 keeps a higher rank. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 8, 173 yards, par 3.
Player 1, tee shot. Rough. Player 1, second shot. On the green. Player 1, for par.
Get in.
Player 1, for bogey. Player 1, for double bogey. Player 1, for triple bogey.
Triple bogey. Oh
So
no!
I've been par on every round, haven't I? I've been par on every single hole so far, except for the 2 par 3s that have come up, which have been triple bogeys. The par 3s are fucking nightmares. They're nightmares. Give me a par 5 all day long. Par 3 is awful in this game.
Hole number 9,
Player 1, tee shot.
good shot.
Also, I was mistaken in thinking that high and low was to control how high or low you hit the ball, so it would go and like roll more, or less, and things like that, and go over obstacles. Doesn't seem to be the case. It just seems to be good if nice and bad if anything else. So I'm gonna stop trying to hit the ball higher or lower because that seems to be not effective, I guess.
penalty for overpower. Player 1 falls back a lower rank. This is Nancy's report. Better luck next time.
Hole number 10, 584 yards, par 5.
The longest drive contest. Good luck. Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Bunker. Player 1, second shot.
Fine.
Heavy rough. Player 1, third shot.
Fine. Oh no.
Out of bounds. One stroke penalty. Once more. Player 1, fifth shot. Missed. Once more. Player 1, sixth shot. Out of bounds. One stroke penalty. Once more. Player 1, eighth shot. Heavy rough. You must give up playing this hole.
Oh no.
And I'm not going to continue with that because that was just awful. I don't really know how to play this game, and I'm pretty bad at it, but it's pretty fun. I like Hot Shots a lot more because it simulates a lot more than this. This is almost more like if you were to play Golden Tee, but instead of having the funky like ball control, you just had regular 3-touch golf because you're playing it on a joystick. That's pretty much what this is, which is not a bad thing at all. It's a good little arcade golf game. I'll do another round of it here in just a second. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll start from the beginning, and hopefully it won't be just, +6 rounds and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm not good at this. I'll be back in a minute.
Fine. Oh.
On the green. Nazca. Alright, let's give this another go and see if we can do a little better. So it seems like there's only one course, but I guess on the re-release version we'll have two.
The Neo CD version has 2, I guess. I don't know.
Good shot. Please select the type of your game. Who do you play as?
Oh wait, no, there were 4 courses to choose from now that I think about it. I guess we'll play as Young Hero.
George Spiner. Please select your challenging course. Japan. Fujiyama Oriental Golf Club. Final day. Final party start. Good luck. Hole number 1, 426 yards.
Player 1, tee shot.
Very outrun sounding music. It's weird.
Fairway. Player 1, second shot. Fairway. Player 1, third shot. On the green. Player 1, for par.
Par.
Player 1 keeps a higher rank. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 2, 450 yards. Par 4.
Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Bunker. Player 1, second shot. Fairway. Player 1, third shot. On the green. Player 1, for par.
Par.
Player 1 stands second. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 3, 194 yards. Par 3.
The closest to the bean contest. Good luck. Player 1, tee shot. On the green.
378 yards, par 4.
Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, second shot. On the green. Player 1, birdie try.
Birdie. Bingo.
My first dang birdie in this game.
Nice score, birdie. Player 1 gets first place. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 5, 526 yards, par 5.
Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, second shot.
Good shot.
Ross. Player 1, third shot.
Oh no.
Out of bounds. One stroke penalty. Once more. Player 1, fifth shot. Ross. Player 1, sixth shot.
Too bad.
Ross. Player 1, seventh shot. On the green. Player 1 for triple bogey.
Get in.
You must give up playing this hole.
Oh no.
Give up the penalty. Player 1, surrender first place. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 6, 296 yards, par 4.
Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot. Oh no.
Out of bounds. One stroke penalty. Once more. Player 1, third shot.
So here's straight up what I just hate about this game compared to Hot Shots Golf, which is just so much better than this shit. I mean, not that this game's bad, but it's way overrated too. I can tell that. Um, my shot goes from 0 to 100%. Of what? Like of what? Like what do I have for context on the screen that it's 100% of? A white line that goes way off the top of the map somewhere? That doesn't mean anything to me. If it was 100% to the pin, that would make sense. Or something that indicates distance to pin for power. That's what everybody's golf and Hot Shots Golf have, but this game doesn't. And it's just not good. It's just not good that it's not there. I'll try one. Well, how much time have I spent on this one? Yeah, I'll try one more course. But I think it's okay. Like it's pretty fun for an arcade golf game. About on par with one of those Golden Tee games. You know, it's made by Nazca or the Metal Slug people. Maybe that's why people think it's so awesome. But it's not Metal Slug. I don't know. It's just it's a pretty good arcade golf game. All right, I'll give it one more go here. Let's see if and there's not. Yeah, it'd be cool if there was some other modes for single player, but there's not. You just kind of get the one thing. I did the American in Japan, now we'll do the Japanese guy in America.
Player 1, tee shot. Fairway. Player 1, second shot.
Birdie is definitely possible here.
Birdie try. Prize for birdie. Player 1 stands third. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 2, 456 yards, par 4.
Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
is Nancy's report.
Hole number 4, 684 yards, par 5.
The longest drive contest. Good luck. Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, second shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, third shot.
Fine.
On the green. Player 1, birdie try. Player 1, for par.
Par.
I'm doing a little better now, but rather than play through on this one, I need to take a quick break, so I'm going to do that, and I will try the Australia course when I get back. We'll take a quick look at it before we move on to Shock Troopers. Never before released on AES. I don't even know if it can be played in AES mode. I have no idea what I'm doing. So anyway, we'll figure that out in a minute. I'll be right back. Thanks for watching.
Good shot.
Fairway. Nazca.
Go!
On the green. Nazca.
Go!
On the green. Nazca.
Fine. Go!
On the green. Nazca.
Alright, thanks for hanging in there. I'm gonna do this one last time. I may not do all 18 holes, but we're gonna do the Australia courses and see how that goes. I really like the music in this game. I'm surprised how good that is.
Who do you play as?
It has an outrun quality to it almost.
Thomas Stewart. Please select your challenging course. Start.
Bill Gates. Great to see that Bill Gates and James Hetfield made it out for some golf.
Hole number 1, 409 yards. Par 4.
Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, second shot. Fairway. Player 1, third shot. On the green. Player 1, for par.
Par.
Player 1 keeps a higher rank. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 2, 422 yards. Par 4.
Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, second shot. Bunker. Player 1, third shot. On the green. Player 1, for par. Player 1, for bogey. Player 1, for double bogey.
Double bogey. Oh no!
Penalty for over par. Okay. Player 1 falls back a lower rank. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 3, 150 yards. Par 3.
Player 1, tee shot. Rough. Player 1, second shot. penalty for overpower. Player 1 falls back a lower rank. This is Nancy's report.
Hole number 4, 583 yards, par 5.
The longest drive contest. Good luck. Player 1, tee shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, second shot.
Good shot.
Fairway. Player 1, third shot. On the green. Player 1, birdie try.
In.
Player 1, for par.
Par.
So yeah, that's still going badly. I would need some practice on this. Maybe I will do this one someday. Like really kick back with it with a controller, play it the way it would feel more natural for me. I will say that this is about as direct of an input delay test as you can have. You know, 3-touch golf game. I mean, stopping a meter. I didn't feel anything that even resembles input delay. So in that regard, I'll say two things about this on emulation versus real hardware here. It's not going to feel any better on the actual AES, or like I wouldn't think so. Not to a normal human. I absolutely cannot tell the difference here, and I'm just tapping a button trying to make it stop on time. But the other thing is, I I feel like there's a lot of grit in the audio that's probably not there on a real Neo Geo. Maybe there's a way I could improve that in the emulation. Maybe I could like run a filter over it or something. But I'm almost positive this game would sound better on an AES. So if audio is super important to you, maybe the AES is a good choice for you, you know. And The other thing is I could greatly improve the audio by adding probably a bigger frame buffer to it, but it would be you would have audio delay, and on the real AES you're not going to have that at all. So Mister may also be a good solution to that. I don't know. I don't know much about how audio is handled there. If it's greatly superior, it probably is though. But software emulation has those tiny drawbacks, but I don't think any normal person is going to feel that the game plays or feels different on the controls because it doesn't. So, um, especially if you're using a similar style of arcade stick like I am, it's just kind of the same thing. But anyway, I'm gonna switch the games. I had mentioned this before that I don't know if the next game's gonna work right or in the mode that we want to play it in. Shock Troopers was a MVS Neo Geo arcade game that they never brought home to the AES. For those of you that aren't aware, the ROM cartridge, the ROM memory of the game itself is the same one for the AES and the MVS. It just has different options configured, whether it's the arcade machine or the console. And emulators let you switch that, which is what I've been doing with this, is I've been putting it in AES mode. I'm going to try to remember where I'm going with this. So I don't know if since the Shock Troopers ROM was never in AES mode, I don't know if the ROM contains AES code. I'm betting that it probably does, and that it's only been accessible through emulators through now, and that's how I'm going to do it. Also, likewise, as the game has not been re-released, even if it does contain AES code, um, then it doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly what they're going to use. They might put in different options or make it different somehow. You never know. You never know what you're actually going to get until we get it. Also, I've streamed Shock Troopers before. Also, if there's no way to stream the AES version, we'll just play the MVS one, and I'll note that as the case. Anyway, I'm going to try and figure it out all right now because I wasn't smart enough to do any of this in advance. I'm just winging it. So thanks for hanging in here with me, and let's see what happens.
Fine. Go!
On the green! Nazca.
Well, it would appear that it has an AES mode. Hot dog. This is probably what you'll get. Probably. I've streamed this game before, by the way. It's rad. So if you want to see the MVS game, look up my super duper old stream of it. Easy is probably the move. It's probably hard as hell. And B's rule C is bomb. Is that the way it works? Hurry up and tell me. You know, I always do say this, but I'm going to do Shock Troopers 2 one of these days. I don't know if it's any good or not. Coming back to this game, because I played it like, I don't know, it's like almost a couple of years ago or something I streamed it. And I think at the time I had a lot of high praise for it. It had really sharp controls and it's fun to play and all sorts of great stuff about it. And yeah, it's all true. All holds up. Still feel the same way exactly. So this would be a highly recommended pickup, I guess, among these new ones too, especially since it's never been on AES before. That means that those of you who have been already collecting AES games really have something to get there because now it's a new game to add to your collection, and it happens to be a fantastic one. Now, about Shock Troopers 2, every time I've ever tried to play it, I've just been like, this is a crappier version of Shock Troopers. So I wonder if it really is, or I wonder if I just haven't given it enough of a chance because I don't like the way it looks. This game, everything's hand drawn and has a cool pixel art style, except for the backgrounds and items and stuff. A lot of that's pre-rendered, and a mix of pre-rendered and pixel art. It creates a strong contrast between the characters in the background. But I'm not a fan of pre-rendered graphics, but I like the contrast that the hand-drawn or pixel art type characters look over this background. I think they look cool. Um, I believe the sequel is just everything is pre-rendered. I'm not a fan of that look, and everything's too shadowy and stuff. It's weird. I'm not into it. I don't know. But let's give this another go with the team battle option, and yeah, that'll be just another quick playthrough here.
親父、敵は取ってやる。
I just feel like it really overcomplicates everything to try and have a whole team. Although you can probably get further that way. Like, you could balance out who's healed and who's not. It's like different lives. So, it's probably what the pros do, but I'm gonna do it the stupid way.
のば
Alright, I'm gonna take a little break here, and then we'll switch the game up for probably the last one I'm gonna look at today. Samurai Showdown 5 Special. And I'm a little unclear on this because there's 5 and then there's 5 Special, which is like some sort of championship edition type revision. I'm sure. I don't know what they changed, but I'm sure it's something. I either 5 was MVS only and then 5 Special got an AES release, or vice versa. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll figure it out, and we'll talk about it after I come back. And that'll be some fighting game action. I'll probably be the last one I do for the day, but I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for watching.
メントするは剣の道。斧が路面を刃にちむる。我は修羅の道行く羅刹なり。サムライショダウン5スペシャル。いざ尋常に一本目勝負。お願いしお願いしお願いし。
Sorry this one took so long to load up. I had to figure out the ROM name. SSF5 SSF what is it? SS5 SPFD or I don't know, some shit like that. Anyway, it does seem to work in AES mode. I forgot to research the history of Samurai Shodown 5. Let me do that real quick. Hang on. Alright, so what happened here? Mediocre reception. Excellent. That's going to be great. It really does look like they just handed it off to some developer who crapped out a lot. Is that background even new, or is that just recycled as well? Jeez. Yeah. It looks like they just slapped some stuff together here that was already there, mostly. So we're getting, and that, this is kind of the era of that fighting games. 2D fighting games are really getting. This is when we got Neo Geo Battle Coliseum and Capcom Fighting Evolution. That game sucks. A lot of these games. Let's say the 8th game in the series, because I guess they're kind of like the 3D ones and all the other weird shit.
Samurai Shodown 5 Special.
I'm trying to figure out what happened with this special edition, like, why is there a special edition? Here, let me just ask AI, it's gonna be faster. Boil a lake, get a stupid answer about a video game, as usual. So I'm sure they may have added extra characters or modes or whatever, you know what I mean? Because it's a special edition, so I'm sure that they probably tweak the gameplay in one way or another. Let's see what they say here. Yeah, some different gameplay elements. It looks like with like the meters and shit. Interesting. Okay. So 5 Special has bugs and glitches and stuff. It's particular regarding its training mode, which we aren't even going to be playing. But people consider the MVS version to be superior to the AES version. Both. So, yeah. Here's the breakdown on it. It looks like game came out, got panned pretty hard. Came out on MVS and AES like normal. Then they did this revamped version, and people liked it a lot better in terms of gameplay. But the AES version has some weird problems. Probably will be fixed in the re-releases, but who knows? Again, these might be a lot of times things that are problems in a fighting game are like fine points that you have to be maybe really good at the game to really notice and care about the issue. But it may be something very glaring too. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, it looks pretty typical. So A and B together to do a hard hit. So D is a movement button. C and D is a breaker. A, B, and C's rage, which I think I already knew that. Let's go with the classic.
覇王丸対ナコルいざ尋常に1本目勝負 2本目勝負 3本目勝負
Completely dusted by the first character, I thought. So we clearly need to turn the difficulty down. I don't have any idea how to play Samurai Showdown at all. We'll just turn the difficulty down and mess around with it for a second. I'm I don't really see any evolution in the gameplay here. Like, it just seems like old Samurai Showdown to me, which I've never been any good at. It just seems like the same stuff. Um, I guess it has a bigger roster, so I guess really it's all just going to come down to how those new characters play out.
勝負あり深くはっこれが武教というものだ。竜ユンフェイ対ナコル。いざ尋常に一本目勝負。たったおたったはうわチェンおおててりゃチェンやるなお一本やるな。
ありがとうママ母。
二本目勝負。ぐわはおんたおたやるなおチェイチェうわたチェてりゃおんチェてりゃおん勝負あり。
大自然のお仕置きです。
竜いざ尋常に一本目勝負。たはたはおたはたはぐわたちょやるなうわチェイたチェイぐわて一本やるな。やばすぎる。二本目勝負。たおたははたやるなうわたてやるなうわた勝負あり。先に行くぞ。役にもならん。竜ぞ尋常に一本目勝負。たたはたはたはてりゃたチェイやるなおんチェイチェイ一本やるな。二本目勝負。ぐわたごたたたたたたたやるなたぐわたチェイたてりゃうわチェイてやるなチェイチェイたチェイてりゃてりゃチェイてりゃチェイぐわ勝負あり。先に行くぞ。
ざまねえな。
So this is a really straightforward game of Samurai Showdown. Even playing with a new character, I can say it's a very straightforward game of Samurai Showdown. It doesn't have any extra or different ideas really than the first game, I don't think. And most of them don't. I want to say that 4 really tried to push the series forward with some weird stuff, like the slash and bust system, which is more of a duality thing, like they try to do in the Last Blade games. It had some other stuff going on too with different game modes that I think wasn't clear. Maybe even not translated to English in the menus, so it was confusing. Um, and I think that their poor introduction to that complexity in the fourth game was not well received, and that they decided to, whenever this new company got a hold of it, they just were like, let's get back to basics. And they made something that, they made something that gets back to basics. Let's talk about what they did right and how it caused a problem. They made something that got back to basics, but they put in new characters and kept the visual style consistent with all the old sprites that they're using from a game from fucking 1993 or something. Um, so everything looks and feels a bit old, even though it's not an old game at all. It came out in like 2002 or 2004. Jeez Louise, 2004. This game came out in basically I think that is the last active year of the Neo Geo AES and MVS's life. I don't think that there was any. Maybe there were some 2005 releases, but I don't think so. Um, Anything after that, like what NG Dev Team put out in 2009 and stuff like that, that's aftermarket and unlicensed. I want to say that SNK only licensed games up until about 04 or 05 for the hardware. So this is the tail end. It feels like a game that could have came out in 1993 or 1994. So it felt like a 10-year-old game, But going back and playing it, because it is fairly consistent in everything that's designed, it's flattering in a way until you're like, that's just from 2004. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We had Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and all sorts of Tekkens and shit by then, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But you can definitely see why at the time the reviews were like, eh. Anyway, let me jump back in and do another round or two here. I am not good at Samurai Showdown, as you can see, but it's still fun to play. And it has many, many difficulty options that actually work and do affect the gameplay. I'm having a lot more fun now that I toned it down to match the fact that I'm terrible at the game. So, and not again, probably not the ideal button layout for playing this. I'd probably set it up differently, but I'm trying to keep it real to what you'll get if you play AES. But it's still not like a disaster or anything. It's just you got to remember to use A and B together sometimes when you want to do harder hits.
妖怪腐れゲド対シャルロットいざ尋常に一本目勝負 勝負ありもう我慢できねえだ妖怪腐れゲド対徳川義虎いざ尋常に一本目勝負
Yeah, I'm not caring for this really big weird dude. I thought he'd be interesting to check out though. But yeah, he was. Not my speed, but very, very interesting.
これにて終了。
Actually, I'm really interested in the guy that defeated me, who seems like a new character and seems cool. Kind of a new main dude they're pushing a little bit, huh? Yeah, see what he's like.
徳川義虎対服部半蔵。いざ尋常に一本目勝負。 2本目勝負。 勝負あり。
どうだい、かっこよかったろ。
徳川義虎対徳川義虎。いざ尋常に一本目勝負。 2本目勝負。 3本目勝負。 勝負あり。
どうだい、かっこよかったろ。
徳川義虎対久目静丸。いざ尋常に一本目勝負。
面白い。
めんなさい。もう行きます。
よろしくな。
徳川義虎対風間草月、いざ尋常に一本目勝負。
朝顔せ
一本二本目勝負。
Music's getting weird as hell with these vocal samples. Still, it's pretty cool. I didn't comment on the music in Shock Troopers, but I hate the way it sounds because it's like in mono or something. I don't know what's up with that. It's just like crappy sampled sound. I don't mind the drum and bass soundtrack. If it's just the fidelity's so poor, what's the point, you know?
危ないですよ。危ないですよ。朝顔せ
勝負あり。
惜しかったぜ。その程度か。失望です。よろしくな。
徳川義虎対覇王丸、いざ尋常に一本目勝負。
朝なんだ面白い。朝顔
Also, isn't this just a palette swap background from like 4 or something? Ugh. Is this all just recycled content mostly? I think people probably would have preferred a classic Samurai Showdown game. I mean, not that this one's bad or anything, it's just there's not going to be as much nostalgia. I think that there are graphics glitches here. Those might be inherent to the real game, since people have said that this is a glitchy cartridge too. Got a few things going on here that make you wonder about the quality of Samurai Showdown 5 compared to other fighting games. It's certainly the weakest of the 3 they're offering, even if it's not a bad game at all. A lot of people love Guru. I don't quite get the game in terms of gameplay as well as a lot of games, but I can see the quality is there. Excuse me, with Guru, Mark of the Wolves. But and King of Fighters 2002 is good. I mean, it's a late King of Fighters. It's just them cramming a whole lot of it into one game, but it feels it's just really fun to play. It feels really good to play.
2本目勝負
となでしこと朝顔せよいしょせあんた面白えせなでしこと
1本3本目勝負
朝顔せと朝顔せと
勝負あり
ごめんなさい。もう行きます。
よろしくな。
いざ尋常に1本目勝負2本目勝負3本目勝負やるな勝負あり
惜しかったぜ。
これが武教というものだ
俺はまだ満足して
これにて終了
Alright, probably about the point I'm gonna wrap it up. So, that was pretty much my clear thoughts on Samurai Showdown 5, but it's not bad. It's just more Samurai Showdown, and probably not the one anyone really would have preferred, I think, but not. It's also not bad. I would say
武士道という
they could have put in a classic fighting game to put it, just to kind of fill that spot too. I think that having the original Samurai Showdown may have not been a terrible idea instead of this, in some ways, or 2, which a lot of people have nostalgia for. But still not a bad game at all. Got a lot of characters in it at least. But so does King of Fighters 2002, if that's what you're looking for, and that would probably be my first pickup on the fighting games. But again, I find playing through an emulator superior in many other ways, and I'll talk about that after I've streamed all these games. Because really, Neo Geo is not something that is a mystery to emulate anymore or like get a good experience from. So you can play it however you want though, and I think as a collector's item, the AES Plus is very cool. So I can understand getting one if you collect stuff like that. And probably a fine way to play these games and more. I'm sure a lot of people just, go with a EverDrive or whatnot and really go crazy on it. But there's still 4 more titles we haven't looked at, and we'll get to those probably next weekend. I'm not likely to do any streams during the week this week because of the Diablo expansions coming out. I'll be playing that and probably not streaming it and probably playing with friends. But yeah, when we get to that, we'll cover what is it, Twinkle Star Sprites, Magician Lord, Polestar, and Overtop are the games that remain. So check that out, and we'll see. Those are not as popular titles, but I have some of those I'm real excited for and really like, or already really like, and some I don't understand as well or I'm not into. So we'll get to see both. But to kind of recap here, the golf game, Neo Turf Masters or Big Tournament Golf, is really a fun sports game and a very arcade like sports game. So it doesn't quite have even the depth of something like Hot Shots Golf, Everybody's Golf, Mario Golf, that kind of thing. But it is a really fun and easy golf game to pick up and play. And it has the same quality that the baseball stars baseball games have, where even if you're not into that sport necessarily, you can get into it. You'd be surprised at how addictive the simple little action game take on it is. Um, so pretty good stuff. And then we did Shock Troopers, which I just love. I mean, that game's fantastic. No other notes about that. If you're into running guns at all, you should definitely play Shock Troopers. It controls great, looks great, it's fun. Everything about that game's great. So check it out. And then there's this Samurai Showdown 5. So anyway, we've covered 6 games so far, 4 more to go. Check it out next weekend, and thanks for watching.